The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is...
Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be discussing the 8 top movers for today within the US stock market. We have SGMT, BCTX, BCAB, NFE, CAPR, INDO, MULN, DUO, and EONR. Now, the first 4 stocks that I mentioned were moving due to news. And not only were these our major movers, but we had moves that were almost and about 200% movers. We're going to discuss that today, why they moved like that, what happened, what caused that. But firstly, we're going to start with SGMT, our main mover here, okay? So, we had positive news break out that SGMT was granted FDA procedure to go on to their phase 3 trials in regard to advanced liver fibrosis. So anything with cancer or medically related or has the word FDA in news, immediately people are going to hop on that, which that's what exactly they did at about 7:30ish. We see a pop right about here. So we had a pop a little bit earlier from the regular 276 as it was. However, our news broke out somewhere around here, I believe, at about 7:46 or 7:26-ish. And that's where we can see our first major breakout. So we had a resistance level here set at about 218, 220. And it was off. I was off my radar for that reason because it didn't want to break above here, go above that resistance level. But as soon as we got that news and we got confirmation of that news, meaning multiple outlets proceeded to go out and publish that news that they got granting from the FDA and they're moving on to phase 3 trials. Immediately we see that this move right here of going from 218, bringing that resistance level, and we go up and we shoot off up right here to 279. So, preferably we would want to buy right here at that 220 level when we're breaking through that resistance level and we're going higher right here. You'll see how we don't come back and we're setting a new support here at 228, about 230, a logical support level, 230, because people want to buy, sell, and maintain levels at things that end in 0. It's just prettier, if you're with ADHD, OCD, things with 0 or whole look prettier. So instead of 229, why not just make it 230? Or for this example, 330. So we had a logical support level right here, and we had another resistance level right here at about 335. And as soon as we broke that, we had another push. So we had a push right here from 320, and then we had another resistance level at 330, but we pushed above there. We went above to 352, and then we even went even higher. So we had another resistance level at about 350. And once we pushed through that, we could have sold out all right here. And there was no particular reason to sell off either here, and other than here, because we didn't go above this level. So typically what you would want to do is you want to buy right here at 320 and have your stop loss set at the low of the previous candle, which in that case would have been 318. And nowhere in between here to here, it goes below 318. So why sell off and lose on potential profit when you could instead be adding? Why stop and say, okay, I'm done for the day at, let's say, $20 of profit or $100 of profit or whatever your market size is, your share size, depending on how confident you're feeling. Why stop there when you can have a 60-cent move on a stock? That's like bingo bongo, you have a 60-cent move right up in here. So why is it necessary to limit yourself to, like, let's say, 10 cents? Come on, let's think a little bit here. 10 cents, 60 cents. Which one sounds better? To me, it sounds 60, but at the end of the day, to each their own. Now, so it wasn't as popular. We had another resistance level here at 380. We're not trading on that much volume. It's about 11,000, 20,000. So we get a little bit of pickup here in like 100,000, 200,000, but we stopped a little bit here. A little bit of slowdown, not too much volume. Our mock decross is over right here. So I mean, it's not really appealing anymore. So what I looked for is another resistance level forming right here. As you see, 367. We had another resistance level forming, okay? We had another resistance level forming right here, 367. Because you see here, we don't go above here. We have a double top. A double top on a red candle signifies we're going lower. A double top on a white candle, we're going higher. It's a little bit logical. And so we go above here, this resistance level at 367, and then we boost up and we go higher and higher. So typically, I would not say to buy right here as soon as it breaks out, because you see you could have slippage. You could buy here at 367, and then you see it goes to, what is that, 360. So you lost 5 cents. It's not that big of a deal, but you could have waited a little bit longer. There's no reason to have FOMO because you didn't enter right here. Like, there's no reason to have FOMO because you didn't enter here and just enter here willy-nilly. Like, there's no benefit to that. There's no benefit to you or to anybody. So I would personally wait a little bit right here and buy in right here, and then wait for that squeeze up through our resistance level at 318 or 380. Sorry, my bad. And you see we do hit a high of the day at 32 or 392. So you could have kept it from right here. However, I wouldn't suggest that. I would say sell here, because you see your sellers then take control instead of your buyers, and we don't have that much volume. And then during the day, we do hit right when the market opens a high at 397, but you see it just absolutely collapses. So it wasn't really worth it. Like, after that, the first 5 minutes, if it goes down, it's no longer to my interest. Now, another one that had news was BCTX. So our news for that was that they received 100% resolution of brain metastasis in breast cancer patients with eye bulging tumor. So this news hit at about 350 when you see this major boom right here, which was going from, $1.20 to $1.60 right here. So immediately when the news hits, anything with tumor or cancer related, this is what intrigues you. Like, you want medicine that works. Like, if the medicine said, okay, yeah, cancer, okay, let's not focus just on the cancer part now. We need to make sure, like, 100% resolution. That's a headliner, not new cancer medication found only 5% resolution. That's like 5%, 100%. Which one are you going to pay attention to and, like, maybe read the whole article? The one that says 100%. Like, that's what people look for. So right when the news hits at 350, we have a major surge up right here with 46,000 shares of volume, or 50,000 shares of volume, compared to basically practically nothing. And then we have a surge up. So right there when the news hit, you can't buy. You're not like you're not using quantitative analysis like these big platforms like Citadel, BlackRock, blah-de-da-de-da. You have to sort and filter. You're not AI. You're not ChatGPT. You're not cyborg. So sometimes you might get the news right away and you can enter. However, that's not all the time. So what I would have preferably done, and what you should do, is wait a little bit, see how the stock acts, and wait for a pullback. A pullback right here. Yeah, it's a pullback. Yeah, it goes up, but On what basis? It doesn't cross over the resistance level set at $1.50 right here from the high. It crosses, but it doesn't go forward. Like it just stays stagnant. So I would wait for this huge sell-off right here that happened, and then have a level set right here. Because why should you enter at the low right here and just hope that it goes up when there's no confirmation? Your MACD is tight. Yes, you have volume, and yes, your TTM squeeze is blue. I mean, pretty color on the Christmas tree, like I was talking about yesterday. But it's a safer bet to wait until you at least break through that candle. Have your resistance at what is it, $1.40 to even the logical resistance level. So why enter here when you could enter right there? And then from there, yeah, you make, it's decent profit, 14 cents of profit or 19 cents, like sell somewhere as you go up. And then throughout the day, like same with SGMT, it just absolutely tanked. So this was not in my interest. And you go from $1.59 to back to 92 cents to a low of 88 cents during the day. Now I'm going to talk about our intraday trades. So those were our two pre-market trades that were on news. Now BCAB, we got news about this at 7 a.m. Okay, 7 a.m. That's really early for news, And looking at this chart, it's like you have news, but there's nobody trading it because it's not that important, because there's other things that trade, like SGMT. They were advancing through the phase 3. Now the news that BCAB released was that they're going to be speaking and having a presentation at the Society for Melanoma Research for their 21st International Congress. So, melanoma, then again cancer. So all three news from today are cancer so far. Just to go to show you how much cancer and research and FDA and medically related news can influence a stock. Because look, see, we go from our high, which was 189 during the day or pre-market, to immediately when, it was seen that SGMT and BCTX went down during the pre-market, after pre-market into intraday, and then we go up high. So now what I would have done, and what, you should do, or whatever, if you did this, great. If you didn't, you can move on and learn. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm not an institution. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm here to go over what could have happened, what should have happened, and review. Just think of me like your next door neighbor or something like that, who just is bringing you cookies every single day, or brownies, or chocolate cake, or red velvet cake, whatever you're into, or if you don't like chocolates, maybe a carrot if you're vegan or whatever. So our news hit at 7 o'clock, which was about right in here, this area. So there's not that much to trade. Now, I kept this on my radar in like a chart on the far right corner. It's like that. We're gonna keep you to the side, where if you seem interesting, then we'll hop on. So I had a resistance level set here when we saw this bounce of about 35,000 shares of volume. Right about here. Let me highlight it for you guys. At about right here. So here we go from 0 shares of volume to 35,000. So it pops again on my scanner for volume, because you go from 0 to 35. That's 1,000. It's kind of a little bit crazy, if you ask me. So I kept an eye on that, and I don't jump in right away, because you see, if I were to jump in here, boom, it goes down. So thankfully I didn't do that. So I had a resistance level set here, right here at 205. Let me mark that up for you guys so you can see 205, because we hit that high. Now, what I'm gonna be looking for is a breaking of this high. So you see here, in this area right here, we don't go above that. So why should I entertain it? Our MACD is open. Yes, we're light blue on our TTM squeeze, but there's no point of going in for it and hoping that it goes up, because this is not work on hopes and dreams and aspirations. You can hope all you want, but in reality, it might not happen. So I waited until we see a cross of 206 right here, and I had a limit order set right here, right here, right here. Like I mentioned the other day on halts, I typically do like 1 cent increment or 2 cent increments above that. And if it goes above, great, it fulfilled. But if it goes below, then I'm not worried. I'll cancel my order. And if it goes down, 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 we're not worried. But here in this instance, it went up. So, we're good. My orders went in 1 order, 2 order, 3 order, all going all the way up, because it showed strong momentum of, what was this, 260,000 shares of volume and another 218,000 buyers with another about 400,000 shares of volume. If you want to see where I'm looking at volume, just to figure it out for yourself, it's right here, these bars right here. Look, see, you have 218, 234, and 257. So what I did was I entered, as I said, right here with my limit orders, bang, 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 bang. And I didn't enter here because it was a little bit too risky. And then I took off the top as we got here, and I saw this little hammer. Yes, I mean, this is a hammer, and it should have technically, speaking, typically, it would hammer out the resistance level right here of 240 into a support, but that didn't happen, and it just absolutely tanked with about 417,000 sellers right about here. That's where I'm looking again. So, it is what it is. And that the stock didn't proceed to go above 206, a resistance level from pre-market. So it was not interesting anymore. Now moving on, because this was not interesting anymore, we had another stock that had a public offering of $400 million of their Class A stock. So this news popped off at about 3:04, so at the beginning, during pre-market. So right when our news shot off, right about here, I kept an eye on it, and I had a resistance level formed right here. You see here, it doesn't go above the 242 or 224 or 945. Sorry, 945, not 2. I'm still stuck on the previous stock. So yeah, it doesn't go above that. So I was like, okay, it's not interesting because you have minimal volume. You have about like 2,000 shares of volume on each candle, so it's not really that intriguing. You want things with a lot of volume because as day traders, we work on momentum. If there's no momentum, you can buy here, okay, at $9.21, but what does the next candle close at? $9.20? And then you go to the next candle, it closes at $9.20. The next candle, oh no, it went to $9.19. Oh no, the next candle. You get my point. You're basically trading and playing a card game with yourself if there's no momentum, and who wants to play cards with themselves? Like, Monopoly is not a one-player game. Monopoly is a multiplayer game. Same with Uno, same with every other logical kids game that you can think of. It's boring to play by yourself. Like, what are you going to be, that kid in the corner who just plays by himself? Pause. That sounds weird. But yeah. Anyways, so I had a resistance level set at 942 right about here, and we have a confirmation of that with our candle 2 minutes before our market opens, right about here. You see right here, we have a confirmation of that. And so then again, in pre-market and going into intraday, I see that our MACD is open. Yes, we have TTM squeeze, that's blue. So I have an order just set right here, just to entertain myself. If it goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, like I mentioned earlier, it goes down. I cancel my order, move on, find something else that's interesting, But I had a feeling because it had an public offering of $400 million. That's not nothing. So I feel like as soon as this news hits, something's gonna happen. So I had an order set here, and then immediately when I saw that fulfill, I went in, bum, bum, bum. Because what do we have here? We have 673,000 shares of volume. Insane. Okay? So as that moves forward, I add here, and I add here. Okay? Here, I stop adding because I notice we have a little bit of a decrease of volume right here. We don't have any candles that are going bop, 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 higher and higher and higher. Typically, that's what we want. We want candles that go higher and higher and higher, not candles that go, lower and lower and lower to zero like we have right here. So I stopped adding and I started taking off. I took off about here, and then I took off everything about here. So from 942, we went to, what is this, 980 something, 980. What was the high of this candle? 980. Like, come on, that's $1.40 of profit. Bingo bongo. This could have, like, let's say you didn't trade pre-market and you just traded this stock, you made all your money in the day with this. So yeah, we moved a little bit higher. We had another resistance level here at 11.19, or sorry, my bad, spoke too soon. And not at 219. What was it at 2? We had a resistance level here after this move at 269, 270, about here. And yeah, we popped through that, and we hit like another high of 1117. But there was other higher movers during the day, and I mean, yeah, we hit the high of the day at 1132, but you know, you compared to $1.40 of profit here, you only made 30 cents, so it wasn't as intriguing compared to the next one, which was CAPR. So this stock, I don't know if you traded it the day previous, but it was our major mover from a low of $9 to a high of 15. Come on. That was an insane move the other day. So I didn't trade this the other day, as you can see probably by the other video that I posted yesterday. However, I thought it was still something that people might have in the back of their mind, because if they're like, oh my God, the stock moved $6 in the span of a day, then and I made so much money off that, I'm gonna keep trying to squeeze the lemon until it runs dry. You know, you keep pumping the well until there's no more water. So I kept that in mind, and I kept it like looking at the pre-market high, which was at 1639, and you see we don't reach that, and we keep on going down at the beginning of the market right here, and so it was not that interesting, and there was plenty of other things to look at, like BCAB, NFE. Those were more interesting things that were happening like in this area. But as soon as we popped through the resistance level at 1640, it caught my eye. So I bought in at about right here at the high of this candle, and I had a logical resistance level, or logical stop loss level, set at 1639. So if we went through that, okay, you know, bingo bongo, it was okay. And now here I took off a little bit on the top, because it's a higher value stock. You know, it's $16. It's not your like penny stocks that are 20 cents. So, you know, 1 cent move can be detrimental. And I mean, we weren't moving too much on volume. Like, I mean, compared to here, this was like 190,000, and here we have about like 90,000. So we lost 100,000 shares of volume, or in like buyers. So I was waiting for a little bit more. So I believe I sold half right about here, and then I re-entered as we were, because there was no sign necessary to sell, because we're still above our 8 or 9 EMA. So I still had belief. So sometimes when you're doing this for a decent amount of time, you gotta have faith in yourself, you know, in certain things, certain aspects. So I maintained about here, because we didn't go below our 9 EMA. Our mock D is still open. We're still TTM squeeze light blue. So, and then we have that boost up from 17 to about 1811, somewhere around there. I think I sold on the high of that candle. And then now here, this is what we call a shooting star. This is a sign for a possible reversal. Shooting star is for possible reversals, and like when sellers take control, because it's shooting down. The lower you go, the more red it is. So when it's towards the red, towards down, that means sellers have control. Yes, the candle's white or green or whatever it would be on your screen. White on mine, because I like the color white, I guess. Call me basic. But, you know, that's where I sold. This was my signal to sell. This shooting star candle, which just creates a reversal. Same thing with the hammer right here. We had a hammer signifying that there's a possible reversal on the upside, which happened right here at 718. But this one, we have a reversal on the downside at 18 or at 1778 or 1780, another logical resistance level. And then as you see, we proceed to go down the rabbit hole, and we end up at 1436. So that's why I didn't trade this later on in the day, because it wasn't worth my time and energy. Now we are going to go to something that was INDO. Now this stock started at $2.37 with a low and hit a high of 41 cents. So this was another major mover. Now let's see here. This was a key point of resistance levels. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but resistance level are like like sugar to a hummingbird. That's the best expression that I can come up with my head. So we had a resistance. Wow, that's crazy what I just did. Let me try to breathe. I'm just too excited, I guess. We had a logical resistance level at about, or we had a logical resistance level and a physical resistance level at 240. 240 because logically we want that 0 instead of 239. So we have it at 240. Let me make it 240 just so I can, make myself clear. So we had a resistance level here at 240 because our nowhere in pre-market hit above that. But we go from about like 1,000 shares of volume to 11,000, but then we have all of a sudden 16. So from about 3,000 to 16, that's 13,000 shares of volume all of a sudden. So it hit my volume scanner, and I didn't buy here or here or here, because it wasn't as intriguing. So I waited for a pullback, which happened right in here at about 9:45 ish, and so I marked my resistance level here at 301. So this turned into support, because resistance turns into support when we go above, and the same thing when we go below. If resistance and we go below, it becomes our support, if that makes sense. Or if it's support, then resist. I hope I made some type of sense. So here we have, not only is it physically right here at $3, $3.01, but it's mentally there also at $3 again. We have that logical resistance level at $3. So not only is it like the cent 0, but it's a whole dollar. So yeah, and that's where my entry was, about $3 right here, $3.01, $30.02. I had a little bit of slippage, but 1 cent, it's not gonna make or break you during some occasions. And so yeah, I entered about here. There was no reason to to sell off. I think it took a little bit of the top right here at about, 957 ish. About here, so at 323, I took a little bit off the top because that's 20 cents of profit. And you see we don't have that much volume. Our mock D crossover right here. So then I set another resistance level at about 330. Let me make that 330 so it's nice and even for you guys. 330. So not only, once again, I'm gonna ingrain this in your head, we have a resistance level at 330, but it's logically 0. Resistance level 0. It sounds good. So, and we were breaking through here from the low of the previous candle. So typically what you would want to do is you want to enter at the high, like when you're breaking the previous candle, which we did right here at 320, I believe. Okay, 320. And so we broke 320 with this candle right here. We broke it immediately, or 316, sorry. But I was looking at this candle because you see this one's a little bit higher. Sorry, there you go. This one's higher than this one. So I was kind of paying attention to this. So I bought here at 320 and I rode it up until here. Now you see another shooting star. That's where I sold, because let's scroll down. It goes stagnant. There's no momentum. And we have a mock D crossover here. It's a little bit late, but you see how tight our mock D is? We want it a little bit wider. Like let me show you, for example, our mock D, like that's decently wide right here compared to like if we enter here, it's not, you see, it's not worth it because we're going sideways. We want up, we don't want sideways. But yeah, and then same thing right here. We have another resistance level at 370. In here, we break that. Same thing, we break 370 again, and then we just push for higher up until the high of the 401, or $4.10. So there's multiple places where you could have made money on this stock, and I mean throughout the day. Now there was also another one that caught my eye on my halt scanner, which was MULN, and we had our pre-market high of, let me remove this, sorry. We had our pre-market high at about $3.20. So I had that in mind right here, $3.20. So it was halted after the fact, but I had that in mind, and I know that like typically when you go above pre-market high, it's just motivation to go higher and higher and higher. Okay, so we had our halt at about, what is that, 10 o'clock, and going into 10:05. So yes, we're catching the uptrend, but I just, when you're doing this for a decent amount of time, you have an inkling, like I told you yesterday with our halt with CNET, I believe, you just get a feeling of certain things and certain aspects of when you should enter and when you should not. So we had a halt at about 358 right here, and I had an entry, or a limit order, set at about 360, 361, and we hit that. Yes, we went down a little bit, but we didn't go below that 359 or 358 level, so there was no reason to sell. And then immediately we go up and we hit 392 right here, and that's where I sold. So I mean, you made about 40 cents a profit, or 30 cents a profit. So compared to our other moves today, it wasn't that major. But I mean, in one candle, you make 30 cents a profit. Or two candles, that's pretty. It's something. So that's why I also pay attention to halts, because when we halt on the upside, we typically have a move up. However, if it was halted on the downside, like let's pretend this candle was red, this typically would halt and go down. Like I believe Duo today had a halt on the downside, which we're going to look at today, because that was also a stock that was in play later in the day. But that one had a halt on the downside, and it forced it down, like right about here. Hold on, let's see. I think it was somewhere in here. Sorry, no, this is pre-market. There's no halts in pre-market. Yeah. Right here. Here is the halt that I'm talking about. So in Duo today, during intraday, we went down from like pre-market, because like you see, okay, pre-market's okay, but it wasn't too interesting because there was no news on it. And you see we halted because we had 2 million sellers dump their shares. So we halted on the downside right here at 934. Let me try and draw right here. So we halted on the downside right here at 934 because there's 2 million people who just dumped, or 2 million shares that just dumped down. And typically halts happen either on news or on major volume increments going higher or lower. So, we have our regular, like let's say 400,000 sellers, and then all of a sudden you have 2 million, the stock exchange is going to halt and, confirm and review for about 5 minutes. Sometimes they can do double halts, which is 5 minutes. So this is also what we call the circuit breaker. So here you see our circuit breaker halt, which happened right here at 305, and immediately right when market opens back, it just plummets because our halt was downwards, and people are just gonna want to sell. Like there's no reason why this would go up. our volume is red, our mock D is closed, and our TTM squeeze is red. So that's not something that you should have played. However, later on in the day, you see this movement going up, and I didn't catch this trend. However, I was looking at it, and I had resistance level set right here at 326 at about here, and then another one set right here at 316 with my support set at $3, another logical support level. And I watched it as it broke through here to see if I can catch, the reversal, the pullback, because here we have the pullback from 377. It goes down and, hopefully back up, which it did. Above 316, we broke through 316. I bought here. Let me highlight it for you guys. 316. So we buy in here, and then sell right here, half, and then I bought again in here, and then sold right here because we were just stagnant. There was no volume. There's no motivation to stay. Because you see, if you stay here and then you hit sell right here, hoping you catch the uptrend, you can have slippage. And instead of selling right here at 359, you could have ended up selling on like 328. So that's 30 cents loss. So count your winners while you can up here, and not wait and hope it goes up or down. Because most of the time, stock market doesn't run on hopes and dreams. Now, our last stock for today was EONR. Let me see right here. I believe EONR, yeah. So during the day, or like right in the beginning, obviously day. We don't trade at night. We're not nocturnal. It didn't really move. There was like no volume, little to no volume. However, our key thing that sparked my interest was right here at 10 o'clock, right here, where we go from like 6,000 shares of volume all of a sudden to 63,000. So that popped up on my volume scanner, and then I was like, from 6,000 to 60,000 buyers, or 60,000 shares bought. That's pretty interesting. So I had a level set right here at 88 cents above our pre-market high, and I noticed we went above that, and then we immediately went below, and then it was just going sideways. Yeah, you have a little bit here, so I made my resistance level here because I saw we didn't go above that. However, immediately we go above that. I didn't catch this trend because I was in the midst of trading things like CAPR, INDO, and then MULN. So I still was looking at it and waiting for my confirmation to be all right, which it was right here. So right here was our major play of the day in this stock, in regard to this stock. So not only did we have this major play, but we had a bunch of others. So we had a resistance level right here at 108 from the high of this candle in the previous one right here. These. So yeah. And so I had that in mind, and I was looking, and we cross over right here. So immediately I bought, because our mock D is open also. That's another thing to keep on. So you don't just want to make sure you're going over your resistance level, but you want to make sure all your indicators are okay, like your mock D, your volume, your TTM squeeze, whatever indicators you use. These are mine. These are what I prefer, but whatever works for you. So then I bought here with my stop loss set at 108. So one profit ratio of 1-to-1, or at least something like that. Minimize my risk. And we go here, we have a little bit of a downturn. So when I bought here, yeah, we went in the red, but you see we have movement, or let me not say red, because I also bought in here, but I bought in here. But they get the averages when you look at your P&L. And move up here, sell. This is where I sold, because we see this major volume, and we see this shooting star, we see this hammer, but I just wanted to call it, because we have a move from 108 to 343 or 143. That's 30 cents of volume. So why hope for more when I can call it there? And of course, then we have a pullback right here, and a reversal going back up. Yes, we were a little bit stagnant, and then we go up, and then we hit our high of day. It's 173. So this was another place where you could like have multiple entries here and here, and then later on in the day it goes back to 131. So it didn't really play out later in the day. But yeah, those are the stocks from today. I hope you at least learned something and something was useful to you. And if you have any suggestions of how I should go about this for tomorrow's video or the next upcoming videos next week, please let me know. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening or morning or whenever you're watching this. And I wish you nothing but the best.